Hello Cancer, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Cancer for the middle of October. Now do keep in mind, this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Let's go and get a shuffle in here. Having a hard time with the cards. I'm using the Gilded Tarot, the Before Tarot, and the Kipper Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. All right. Make sure everything's in view here, and then we'll get right into it. All right. Cool. Good enough to me. Energy on the bottom. You have the Tower. Wow, suddenly something happens unexpectedly. That's the idea of the Tower. So the Tower can be obviously a shock, a sudden situation, an upheaval, and obviously the mind goes to catastrophe when you think about the Tower. But truly, this feels more like a blessing in disguise, especially in a reading like this, because you have very positive cards here. Overwhelmingly positive cards. What I will say is there are two cards that might indicate destruction here with the Knight of Swords and the Tower. And so, what's just came to my mind was like the phrase, like, be careful of being hard-headed. In other words, this card is associated with the planet Mars. And Mars is all about conflict, or it's a lot of things with Mars. It's not just about conflict, but one of the keywords with Mars is conflict. And so I would say that there's like a preventable situation here, potentially. And so I would say, like, be careful of having a fixed view of something at this time, Cancer. And what I would also say is, some of you might be dealing with somebody who's a little bit destructive. I don't even think it's you. Okay, I actually think it's somebody else. Here, you have a lot of people showing up. You have two knights, you have a king, and then you have you with the chariot here in the reading. And so I would say that there's something here that could be a little bit surprising. However, I think it's more about blessings in disguise. I guess there is just like a small warning here about this idea of destruction. And what does that mean? Well, you could be self-destructive, right? You could be self-sabotaging type of deal. And then in terms of conflicts and arguments, conflicts and disagreements are a part of life. But sometimes they're preventable. And I guess the cards are just throwing out a warning sign. So just, if you feel that coming, I guess that's what it's coming in here for. Now, in the current situation, you have the Justice card. Justice card is Libra energy. It is all about, it obviously could be a Libra, but the Justice card it is more about like karma. And it says that the actions we take are very important, especially when you have something like the Tower here, which again, the Tower and the Knight of Swords combination can be a little bit rough, if you will. And so, it's one of these situations where, like, with the Justice card, are you maintaining your highest frequency? Are you operating at your highest vibration when you have the Justice card? You can't be on all the time, but if you are operating at your highest frequency as much as possible, then the Justice card is great because it says that you will get a just reward. Basically, with the Justice card, we all get the outcome that we deserve. And so, like I said, there is something here that's like maybe preventable, but I also think that there's something here that, because of the way that this reading ends, there's something that is pleasant, like a pleasant surprise as well. So I'm kind of getting two storylines. I'm going to sync them both together. I'm going to try to kind of sync them together in this reading. But there's this energy of like, okay, so far there's this storyline of like, okay, there's like a destructive thing that you could maybe prevent, but then there's also this other situation that feels like a pleasant surprise or a blessing in disguise. In the problem position, you have the Nine of Cups. This is interesting be careful of being overindulgent, okay? With the Nine of Cups in the problem position, because Nine of Cups is a very good card. It's a card of like kind of easing yourself, or just like allowing. It's a card of like pleasures with the Nine of Cups, but it's in the problem position. Are you being overindulgent at this time? That's what I would say, because especially with this Justice energy, which is about karma, you know, if you overindulge, it's one of these energies. Well, it's like, you know, you have free will, you're allowed to overindulge, but there are also consequences that come with that, right? And it's kind of like that idea that's coming to my mind right now. In the past, you have the Ten of Swords. This is an ending. Clearly something here in the past has like been done. There's been a cycle that's completely closed out for you. With the Ten of Swords in the past, though, the really positive way of looking at this is it says that the worst is behind you when you get the Ten of Swords. So maybe the Tower moment for you has already happened. You know, maybe there's already been a Tower moment here, and perhaps the skies are clear for you in the future. I think that's probably the more positive way of looking at this type of reading. Maybe the skies are clear for you here with the Ten of Swords in the past. And, you know, there's an element of finality with the Ten of Swords. Whatever has closed out for good. So I definitely think that that could be the case here for you at this time, Cancer. However, let's just move forward here. I forget what I was going to say there. I was like, you know, it's possible that some of you are still holding on a little bit. And I would say that just with something like this, if you, here's the thing with the Ten of Swords, you can't really hold on to these things. It's kind of like this idea of what is done type of deal when you get the Ten of Swords energy. And also maybe this is why some of you are overindulging, because you're trying to like bring something back that can't be brought back with the Ten of Swords in the past. Maybe this is why this Nine of Cups is showing up in the problem position. Maybe you're trying to bring something back that can't come back. In the future, you do have the Knight of Cups, which is a love situation that could be arriving here. And, you know, I think this Ten of Swords, the Tower card here, I think that this, for many of you, involves a love situation where it's like, you know, that person has moved on. And I think some of you have moved on, finally. Like, I think it took you a little bit longer to move on, Cancer. And I think now that you've moved on, you have created room, or you've created space in your cup to allow a new relationship to come in with the Knight of Cups here in the future. I think you've created room in your life, or in your metaphorical cup, for a new relationship to arrive with the Knight of Cups in the future. So I definitely like that. This person could be a Libra. This person could also be a fire sign. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, as you have the Strength card, would be a Leo, or any other fire sign here. So yeah, definitely like to see that. Now, in your consciousness, what is on your mind here, you do have the Two of Wands. This person's at a fork in the road. This person's at a crossroad here with this Two of Wands. It's really trying to decide on which path is best for them. What I will say is this card can also, by the way, refer to like business partnerships or business agreements. This is not love partnerships. It's like more like trade agreements, situations like that, and maybe partnering up with somebody to plan, because the Two of Wands is a card of patience, planning, discovery. And sometimes we do that with another person. When you get the Two of Wands, sometimes we do it on our own. But, you know, I feel like some of you have really spent time thinking about what's next after this situation has kind of, we'll say, collapsed here with the Tower and the Ten of Swords. I do think the worst is behind you. I do think the worst is behind you here. And this has given you, again, room for you to sort of welcome someone or something new into your life. You have this Knight of Swords here, which, you know, the Knight of Swords is this one card that could be a little bit chaotic, could be destructive. It's something that happens very quickly when you get the Knight of Swords. And that's why you get the keyword destruction and chaos when you see the Knight of Swords. But on a much more positive note, it can be a card that is like a call to action in your life. It can be a card that is like a call to action. And the Knight of Swords might ask you to really strike while the iron is hot and go for something, because you never know when an opportunity like you have could come in again, especially as you have the Knight of Cups here in the future, showing up in the future position. And so I would say, yeah, always a good idea to consider that, right? Consider that opportunity of striking while the iron is hot. Now, in the staff, this is the direction you are headed. In your current influence, the way that you influence the situation, you do have this 10 of Wands showing up here. So 10 of Wands, all about a burden here. This person's carrying the weight of the world on their back. And, this is like you here. We have these double 10s, right? We have these double 10s with the 10 of Swords in the past, 10 of Wands here. This is you really kind of still holding on to the burden when there's no need for you to do that, I feel. Obviously, I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you how to feel. But you can allow yourself to recognize that the worst is behind you, or you can bring the burden with you. That choice is yours if this reading is for you. And that's kind of the ultimatum that the cards are giving you, or that Spirit is giving you here. And I get the sense that some of you are going to release yourself from this situation in the past. Clearly, there's been something challenging here that has happened. I do think for many of you this has involved another person. And I do think that there is this message of removing indulgences, or look, it's okay to indulge every now and then, like, don't get me wrong, but if you're overindulging, I do think that this 10 of Wands burden energy, I think the overindulgence is becoming a burden. And it's because, again, you're holding on to this situation here. And fundamentally that is because you're still you've still allowed this to be, the burdens are similar, right? The overindulgence is a burden, but also you holding on to this person or whatever this thing is from the past is also a burden that you're carrying with you. The two burdens are interlinked here. And I think it's just up to you about like which path you want to go with that, as we have this 2 of Wands paths energy. In the external influence, we have the Strength card, which again is the Leo card, but the Strength card is all about overcoming an internal obstacle and not letting anything hold you back. Okay, this is a challenge that is uniquely yours. When you get the Strength card, it's not somebody else's challenge, but it's yours. But it does suggest that you have the ability to overcome that issue or overcome that obstacle. In the hopes and fears here, you have the King of Wands, which, this is about, I love the King of Wands. This is somebody who is passion-led and passion-driven, okay? If they're not passionate about whatever it is that they're doing, they're not going to do it. It's simple. It's simple. When you get the King of Wands, they're not going to do it. They're not going to allow themselves to do it. And they're always going to be excited and interested in whatever it is that they do for work and in other areas of life. It's somebody that you can really get inspired around, but I think that some of you are looking to get inspired by yourself, or you're looking to, you're looking to take on something in your life that inspires you. Yeah, you're looking to take on something that inspires you here. In the outcome, you have you. This is the Chariot card. Chariot is the card of Cancer, and this is another card that indicates overcoming obstacles. The Strength and the Chariot, number 7, number 8, both indicate overcoming obstacles. This is more about external obstacles, while as the Strength card is overcoming internal obstacles. So you're jumping right through all of the hurdles. You're jumping through all the hoops, and you are overcoming these situations here. The Chariot and the outcome says that you will be victorious for sure. And so whatever here is going on with the 10 of Swords in the past, the worst is behind you. Okay, the worst is behind you, and you're charging full speed ahead here. So let's go ahead and let's start to clarify this now. I do appreciate you being here. Thank you for spending your time with me. Please do hit that like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way. All right, let's get, how many do we have here? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's get one more card. Can we get one more card? So you have the 7 of Cups, the 3 of Cups, and you have the Lovers, and you have the Ace of Swords. 7 of Cups, 3 of Cups, the Lovers, and the Ace of Swords. some of you care too much about what other people think about you, or you really, there's something about like a group here with the Seven of Cups and the Three of Cups. Some of you may be involved in like a love triangle, or there might be something involved where like this person from your past is now dating your friend, or this situation from the past is connected to one of your friends in some ways. You know, maybe somebody's not dating your friend, but maybe it's connected to one of your friends or something like this here. And this has really been causing you some like confusion or overwhelming feelings. I think some of you are removing that from your life. Again, as you let go of that, the Lovers, Ace of Swords, Knight of Cups in the future, Lovers, Ace of Swords, Knight of Cups in the future, that brings somebody in to your life. Like your cup is being overflowed with a new relationship, or is overflowing with a new relationship. English. Let's see here. You have the Ten of Pentacles. You have the King of Swords. Could be a Libra, or somebody has air energy about them. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. You have the Empress, Venus energy. Can we get one more card? And the Seven of Pentacles. Could be a long-term person. Yeah, whoever's coming in here, if you are looking for love, this person could be long-term. This person could be the real dealio. You have the Six of Wands here on the bottom. Six of Wands is a major energy of victory and kind of exceeding expectations. So you love this here. If this is not about love for you, the Ten of Pentacles and the Empress card are the two most abundant cards in the tarot. And so I see some of you really focusing on what's coming in here. And I think I see some of you really focusing on whatever makes you inspired. Okay. And I think in doing that, you really allow your passions to grow into something big for yourself and into something long-term. You can see that this person here is harvesting their crops, and they've been harvesting their crops for a long time. Okay. You have gift, pathway, community. Can we get three more at least? At least three more. Okay, you have mature woman. Mature man. Oh, interesting. Yes, definitely a long-term partnership here. And thoughts. Wow. See, this is very clear. Some of you, the burden is you've been thinking about somebody, doesn't matter what gender they are, this just so happens to be a female in this illustration, but this person's thinking about their loved one or another person here. And, you know, this has, I think, been a burden for you. But as you really remove that and realize that what's done is done, you know, the worst is behind you, you bring this connection in here, mature woman, mature man, which is a very healthy, stable, long-term partnership, especially with the Seven of Pentacles here, the Ten of Pentacles as well. And look, there's something here with the Three of Cups and the community that you are really, there's something connected to other people here that's just a burden right now for you. I think I've been saying this to Cancer signs for some time now. So I would just say, like, you know, stop comparing yourself. Who cares what other people think? You also have this gift and pathway energy here. I mean, there is something big opening up for you with the Chariot and the outcome, the pathway and the gift card. Pathway is your destiny. It's what you're supposed to be doing. So pretty incredible reading. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next reading.